Before I get too carried away and just put everything back onto the frames, there are a few catch-up jobs that I can deal with. All of the stretchers are fabricated from sheet steel and some angle, which once cut to shape, I've TIG welded together, and you can see my welding bead here. It's quite proud, and actually my TIG skills are limited, so it doesn't look very nice. So I'm going to clean all of those up, doing each stretcher one at a time, so I can hopefully not lose the trueness or the squareness of the frame. And by that I mean I can take one off, clean it up, put it back in before I then move on and take off, say, the next one. So that'd be number one on the list of things to do. Of course, I am going to do this the easy way and quickly run an end mill over those horrible beads. It's quite lumpy, so I'll probably do it in 2 or 3 passes. And I am doing this by eye, I'm not getting too scientific. I'll clean it up afterwards with some memory. Well, that was a lot of effort. I've cleaned up that welding seam or bead on all 5 stretchers. They are still slightly marked, a reflection of my poor MIG skills, I would say. And actually on the other side of all these stretchers, we can see it on this one here, there is a corresponding mark on the other side of the weld, but that's indented rather than sticking out, so I'm not going to do anything about those, other than maybe fill them when I come to paint. As I said, a lot of effort for parts that are going to be hidden once the Loco is up together. But maybe something I should have done way back when I made these 2-3 years ago. There's a lesson there, isn't there? Don't put off the little jobs, because they soon mount up in the background. With those done, I'm going to reassemble the motion on both sides and hopefully not be taking it off again too soon. There are a couple of little jobs I need to do with the motion, or certainly with the cylinders. So let me get the coupling rods, cylinders and connecting rods on, and then I can tackle those particular jobs. Despite having a good whinge about these bolts on the front stretcher that hold the cylinders on, I am refitting bolts. I did threaten when I was putting it apart to use cheesehead screws, because access is really limited. It does mean it takes quite a while to get all 13 bolts back in. Actually, technically they're screws because they are threaded the full length, but my little hissy fit to one side, I'm doing it properly. The 3 screws on the front side here, these 3, go right the way through the stretcher, the frame, and then screw into the cylinder. The top 2 just go through to the frame. In all fairness, I have done this quite a few times over the past few days, and I'm rather hoping this will be the last time on this rebuild. There are still another 8 on the other side. Lucky they're quite short, because I'm doing on this one around about, well, not even quarter of a turn each time. Another little job that needs doing is these 3 screws here. They need to be countersunk because they extend above the top of the frame. In fact, I think all of these need to be countersunk and then replaced with countersunk screws because the running board comes across. So yeah, these 3, those 3, those 3. So 9 of those need to be countersunk. So I'll whip the cover off and get them done. Whilst I got the steam chest covers off the Loco to countersink these through holes, I thought it'd take a couple of minutes to polish them up. A concern I have with these covers is the length of the screws. The existing screws I'm using with the hex head, they are 1 inch or 25mm long, and there is probably 2mm of exposed thread, which means there's only going to be about 2mm of thread going down into the top of the cylinder, which I think is probably not enough, although it did hold it on whilst I did my initial checks on running. I think I'm going to try and source some slightly longer ones. I've got the same issue with the countersunk screws as well. These are 1 inch, so 25mm, 25.5mm, and only just a mil or so above the top of the steam chest cover, although of course with countersinks I've got a little bit more thread to deal with. Let's have a look. It's half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5. So okay, nearly 4 turns for the countersinks, although I'm not sure which point the thread picked up. So with the hex head, roughly half, 1, 1.5, 2, about the same, actually a bit more. Maybe I shouldn't be worried, I don't know. With them all fitted, we can now see the reason for fitting them is all about clearing the running boards. You can see how the steam chest tilts up or angles up towards the running board. So that's that one done. Most of the motion gear is now back on. I've not yet fitted the lifting links, and that's because I need to modify the Weighshaft. This section here in the middle needs to be removed, obviously to clear the bottom of the boiler when the boiler is in situ. So it's a relatively simple job. Another one of those little jobs that I didn't do back when I made the actual part. So let me just go and cut this off now and tidy up those ends, and then we can come back and get those lifting links in place. I really should have something a little bit better to clamp pieces in the vise. Unfortunately, the jaws on this are really quite aggressive, and I did have a couple of pieces of brass angle, but they have perished. Just give these inside ends a clean up with a file and we should be good to go. Okay, I'm going to do what I should have done in the first place. I'll use a bit of shim stock just to give that a bit of protection. And I'll finish off with a bit of emery. I'm also going to need to fix this arm, and to do so I want to put the reverser onto the frames and double check the dimensions for its position. I'm not 100% sure that the geometry here is actually quite right. With the Weighshaft positioned such that the offset is at its lowest point, which is roughly where we are at the moment, the lifting arms at either end should be at round about 135 degrees from vertical. And I'm assuming that that should be mid-stroke on the reverser, and therefore mid-stroke on the expansion link. But you can see here that we're not in mid-position on the expansion link. And that could be down to any number of issues. Most likely me soldering these arms on in slightly the wrong position, or the lifting links being too long. I'm going to position the lever arm that connects to the reach rod back to the reverser so that it's vertical in this position, so directly aligned to the offset here. And that will probably mean that I'll need to remake the lifting links to make them a little bit shorter. The lever arm needs to be positioned 1 5/16 inches in from the end of the shaft here, and that should align it to the lever on the reverser. So what I'll do now is take the Weighshaft off. I'll probably put a little center punch on the top of the rod in the center of where the bracket needs to go, or the lever arm needs to go, and that will give me enough resistance to hold it in place, and then I can silver solder it. With the arm in the vertical position and the offset vertically down, we've got this offset on the expansion link. So I've got two options, I guess. I can remake the drop links to suit, or I can make the reach rod to suit. But before I can consider making the reach rod, I need to figure out what's going on here with the reverser stand. There's a small cutout on the back, which according to the drawing is for a sandbox, well, at least a dummy sandbox. But as it is, this bolt head here will interfere with the flange on this wheel. And from what I can determine, the drawing really isn't very clear here, the reverser stand should be standing proud of the outside of the frames by another 1/8 of an inch, so 3.2 mil. In which case, there's going to be a very definite conflict between the reverser stand and the wheel. I'll make the spacer now, but also modify the bottom of the reverser stand and refit it back onto the frames and decide where to go from there. I've modified the stand just by cutting out this corner, so mirroring the cutout for the sandbox, and I've also put a small bit of plate in behind, similar shape as the base of the stand, to bring it out 3 mil. So hopefully the reverser lever will now be nicely aligned to the lever on the Weighshaft. To check how well the two levers are aligned, that's this one here on the Weighshaft and the lever on the reverser, I've got a bit of flat bar pressed up against the outside of the Weighshaft lever and likewise with the reverser lever. Now this is just a bit of bar, so it's not going to be dead straight by any stretch of the imagination, but it'll be good enough, I think. That's 18.5, 19 mil, somewhere in that ballpark, and similar at the far end. Certainly good enough. I've really struggled with interpreting Don's drawings around the design for the reach rod. And also, I do seem to have some, I don't know, design issues, or build issues of course, around the timing gear. Firstly, if the lever arm on the Weighshaft is positioned such that it is vertical, and the offset under the boiler is vertical, the die block in the expansion link is not central. It's actually quite a long way below. That's issue number one. Number two is the length of the reach rod. Don specifies 12.25 inches, although he does say make it to measure as well. So obviously there's going to be a little bit of give and take there. But 12.25 inches seems to be way too long for me. Unless maybe I've got the reverser stand in the wrong position. Maybe it needs to come back on these bolts. Not sure really. Again, another bit of detail that I'm struggling to figure out from the drawings. To overcome those challenges, I've made an adjustable reach rod. So I've got two sections of 1/4x8 or 3x6 mil in my world, flat bar, and then I've got a section behind which can be adjusted. There's actually a slot between these two bolts here, so I can make it longer or shorter. That will allow me to progress until I've got the boiler in place and then start building the cab to understand and make sure I've got everything in the right position at this end around the reverser. At the moment, I've set the reach rod so that with the reverser in the mid position and locked into position, so vertical here, we can see that the lever arm on the Weighshaft is not quite vertical. Looks about 10 or 15 degrees off to the left, but the die block is central in the expansion link, which I believe should be midpoint. So what I want to do next is get the engine running on compressed air again. Although I've had it running, it ran really roughly. It looked like it was going to shake itself off the bench. So I do need to spend a bit of time on the timing, making sure that the valve time is correct on both sides, because I only said that really quite crudely. So on that positive note, I'll wrap up this video here and say thanks for watching.